What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV. 2018 has been an incredible year for video games, and it's only March. There are so many games in this next month alone to be incredibly excited for, including A Way Out, Far Cry 5, God of War returns to PlayStation 4 sometime in April with the whole custom PS4 Pro ordeal. My wallet screams no, but my heart screams yes. I've always wanted to upgrade to PlayStation 4 Pro, and there's never been a better time than now with this custom PS4 Pro, the beautiful art design, the controller that I'll admittedly break after a few games when I throw it against the wall, and the game itself. There are a number of other games towards the end of the year that I'm very much looking forward to as well. Red Dead Redemption 2, Black Ops 4. There will be a new Battlefield game to compete with Call of Duty, if that's Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 2. I don't know what they're going to call it. Hopefully they bring us back to the modern age with that one. I wasn't as big a fan of Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 4 holds a special place in my heart, and I would love to see them return to the modern age. What I'm saying essentially is there are so many options for gamers in today's economy. So many options that it's both a blessing and a curse. To check off every single game that you want to play is almost an impossibility at this point. With all the different consoles, all of the console exclusives, all of the indie developers, all of the AAA developers, all of the games that are being pumped out on a daily basis, there are certain months that are a lot more happening than others, but even then, most people can't afford to buy all the games that they want. I have a lot of games that I did want to play, and they're still wrapped because I've been focusing on other games. And realistically, you need to carve out the time for the specific titles in your life that you need to play. And today I'd like to talk to you guys about a game that I carved out the time for, and I'm currently carving out the time for as much as I can around Call of Duty, Fortnite, other games that I play on a regular basis. And that's Burnout Paradise Remastered. Burnout Paradise Remastered was a bit of a shock to a lot of players. People have been asking for this game for a very long time. The Burnout Paradise kind of died off after Burnout Paradise back in 2007, 2008. So it's been about a decade from the last big Burnout game. People wanted a sequel to Burnout Paradise, and it never happened. However, with the remaster, players old and new get to experience this game once again, and I can easily tell you that this is the definitive racing experience on both PlayStation 3 from 10 years ago and PlayStation 4 today. This is the best racing game, arcade racing game, that you can get on this console, on any console realistically. I would rather play this game over any Forza, any Gran Turismo, any Need for Speed. The Need for Speed franchise has been in the gutter for a long time. This is much better, and it's actually made by the same people behind Need for Speed somewhat, Criterion Games and EA. Now the EA might scare you away because EA is like one of the most evil corporations in the history of corporations, but they did really good with this remaster in that they've included everything. They didn't pull a Modern Warfare Remastered here where it's, oh, well, we'll give you 10 multiplayer maps, and then we'll give you 4 the rest of the multiplayer maps, and then we're going to have a DLC pack for our remastered game. No, they just gave you everything, and they did it right. Now, I've got a lot to say about remasters, and especially Modern Warfare 2 Remastered and the news that's been coming out about that, so stay tuned to the channel for a video on that. But this game got it right when it comes to remasters. All of the content, all of the post-launch content is here and included in the game's price, which is mind-blowing. The thing about Burnout Paradise back in the day was there was a lot of post-launch content. It was one of the first games of its time. It was really revolutionary for its time in terms of how the game was played, but also the extra added nonsense with the game, like all of the DLC. Big Surf Island was added, it was the major DLC, but also different car packs. You could get mini cars, bikes, you could get special boost cars, which I'm not showing in today's video. I'm actually using a muscle car of some kind. I'm more of an import guy, but there's something about this fastback special was just really nice. Brought back some memories from when I was playing back in the day. So I thought I'd just drive around, free drive, do some different events for you. But the whole idea of this game and the DLC being included is really the selling point here, because if you didn't get to experience those car packs in the past, you now have the ability to do that. for $40. 40 Canadian dollars for this game is an incredible selling point for a remaster of one of the best racing games of all time, with all of that DLC included. If you think about the idea that it was like $15 for Big Surf Island, and then it was like $4 for every car pack, that all added up, and this game is like a third, maybe a fourth of that price, and it's completely just beautiful. They've done such a great job of bringing this game into the modern age. The sounds are fantastic. The soundtrack itself, this is one of the best racing soundtracks you'll ever hear in a racing game. This is actually, being from 2007, 2008, this really defined my taste in music. There are a lot of great artists in here. There's lots of different kinds of styles, like you've got your metal, your pop. There's a lot of different really interesting music that you won't hear anywhere else, and I could definitely just recommend that you go ahead and find the soundtrack to this game online and just download everything. Honestly, there's not a single song that I want to skip, apart from like the soundtrack songs, like the Burnout 2 songs and the Burnout 3 song. Nobody cares about that. But the actual soundtrack, like artists putting songs into the game, it just makes it so much more fun. The game is just fun to drive around and do things in. You don't necessarily have an objective. This isn't like recent racing games where there's a storyline and you have to do this and you have to do that, and you have to follow around a character that you have no empathy for. Instead, you're basically a car. There is no real person driving the car. You're just a car, and you drive around and you upgrade your license by doing events. But that isn't even the main draw of the game. The main draw of the game is just enjoying yourself. This is a tried and true arcade racer where it doesn't matter how fast you're going. It doesn't matter what car you're driving. It doesn't matter about the real world physics of things. This game is an arcade racer, a realistic arcade racer, let's call it that, because an arcade racer, you kind of tend to think, oh, it's like cartoony, it's kind of jokey, it's like a kart racer like Mario Kart. This is kind of like that, but in the realistic sense of like, you get going and you're driving incredibly fast, like unrealistic speeds, you're just freaking ripping, and you have boost and you're slamming into other cars, you're getting takedowns. It does the slow-mo takedown and you're watching other cars just be launched off of the bridge and they're destroying themselves, and you can get taken down, but it won't slow down your momentum if you go and wreck your vehicle. You just get back in the race right away. There are really cool kind of events where you drive through and you can fill up your boost and you can use different abilities, and it's just a really interesting game in that it doesn't really matter what you were doing in the game because you were enjoying yourself. It's just about having fun, driving fast, and doing crazy stunts and taking down vehicles. That was what the Burnout franchise was built off of, as you can see in the gameplay. It's just a lot of fun to drive around. There's online, and they brought online into the remaster, so you can play online with your friends, you can free burn, you can do events, you can do a Marked Man, you can do a road rage, all of these different fun things to do around when you're playing on your own. You can do that with friends and with people online. There are lots of really interesting things of just driving around physically. You can smash through the smash gates, you can hit super jumps, you can smash through like all the billboards, and again, Big Surf Island is all included, and Big Surf Island is almost like a mini Burnout Paradise where you have a lot of condensed, really fun kind of action happening where there's a lot more jumps and a lot more smash gates, and it's all about just going for broke and having a good time. And that's what I love about this game. It doesn't take itself so seriously, and it's just about driving, listening to the music. You can crank it up, listen to the cars. All of the cars are very unique, and it's fun to drive them all. It's fun to unlock them all. The cars aren't locked behind some pay system where you have to earn money from completing events to buy the cars. You literally unlock every car. You rank up your license by winning in events, and it's very easy to win in events, but not too easy to make the game redundant. It's just pretty fun. Like, they make it so that it's easy to play, it's easy to get into, and if you're playing online, a little harder to master. But the game itself just rewards you at all times. You rank up your license and they give you new cars, and you unlock new cars by racing in certain events, and there are cars driving around the city that if you take them down, you get those cars, and there's just so much here for you. There is so much offered to you for free in this game. There isn't a tedious thing to do in this game. There isn't grinding. There isn't this or that. It's just fun. And you can just find yourself not even doing events, but just driving. for hours on end. I find myself losing time when I'm playing this game because I am just having a great time driving around the city. There's a lot to see, and again, with the remastered graphics, it looks phenomenal. They did a fantastic job on this remaster, and I cannot recommend this game enough to anyone that really enjoys those classic racing games, those classic Need for Speed games on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, those kind of games, Most Wanted. This is really close to that kind of experience, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So the market for video games, it's incredibly difficult nowadays, but this game is cheap, it's accessible, and it's super fun. This, in my opinion, is the definitive racing experience on PlayStation 4, and I hope you'll consider it. That is it for today's video, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.